He is here to answer the question
of the Senate. It's official. Consider all matters relating to agriculture, livestock, fisheries, development, and veterinary services. In the execution of this mandate, the committee oversights the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development and related government agencies. Invited the Governor Trans Nzoia County for a meeting today to deliberate on the procurement and distribution of maize seeds for Trans Nzoia farmers in Trans Nzoia County. Via a letter dated 30th May, a detailed report on the procurement and tender of maize seeds, stating when and how the tender was advertised, provide the list of criteria outlined in the tender documents, cost per bundle, and whether the cost was aligned to the prevailing market rates at the time of procurement. 3, explain Senior Counsel to go on record, and then we proceed to allow the Governor to give us his responses.
Thank you, Chair. Professor Tom Ojienda, Senior Counsel, Senator Kisumu, and a member of this committee.
Thank you, Senior Counsel. Welcome.
Thank you, Chairman. It's always a pleasure for me to appear before the Senate committees as you do your oversight response, my report on the issues that have been raised. I wish to request to one is that this is the first time I'm appearing before the net.
Proceed, Governor.
Yeah, the letter was written on 30th, which was a Friday. A public holiday, meaning Monday was a holiday. On Tuesday, I had another engagement here in Nairobi at a court case here. So it means that I was only having Wednesday to look at these issues. Because it's like we're just given about 3 days to look into these issues. If you want us to give, of course we needed more time. Number 2, the issue that actually are already subject of the County Assembly of Trans Nzoia. Agriculture Committee, almost word for word, the CEC has that communication. Now, I'm submitted with the Senate, yet it's already with the County Assembly. Number 3, Mr. Chairman, my appearance here. They were very worded statements. And you are basically saying that you are coming to and to get me off the way. And that you are assuring the Speaker to put the TVs on. I hope this one is also on, can put it on, to hear how the Senate is going to grill me about Jesus and Barnabas. And you are saying, well, I'm wondering, what are we going through? Is it some kind of choreographed charade?
Excuse me, Mr. Person.
Order.
Is in Governor defending himself, or he is here to answer the question
of the Senate. It's official. And whatever we do here is like deal with it and proceed with the matter. Thank you, Governor. Proceed. Yes.
It's not just a talk shop. And when you come here, you can discuss very, very serious issues. I think the logical thing to do, if those remarks in the heat of the moment, I think it's just reasonable for the judge. I'm already judged. Do you go to the we just going through some kind of sham process? Yeah. Of course, lastly, I don't know if it's relevant, but then could be a rumor that 3 questions that are going to be raised here. I have the list here. So if any of them is raised, Honorable Chair, I'll politely ask to be excused. Because
Let me go first, Chair. I'll actually tell the governor I'm actually surprised because I sit here as a competent senator and too as a member of this committee, committed to ensure that the business that we transact here, this being a house of record, is done fairly. And I can assure you that I wasn't aware that there was any prior preempting of the situation. But having said that, you also indicated that the notice that you were given was very short. You have a right to lie to the committee and request for more time. That's a privilege that you have. That's a right that you have. And I'm trying to look at the documents I have here. I do more time. That one is a privilege that you have, and you can still use it. And I want to assure you, Governor, that we do not follow up the matter because I have relatives who live in your county, and they would want to see us follow the matter up, but not prosecute anybody. And I think it's a high time that we Kenyans learn to leave politics out of every business that we do. Some of these things we do them because we want to make each other better. We service delivery better to the Kenyans, and we want to ensure that Kenyans get value for money. Learning away from some of the things that's bringing politics into it. But Governor, I'm not sitting here for that reason. I don't want to believe that sitting next to me here is a professor in law, and I do think and believe that his commitment to ensure that we serve justice in this country, he should be the last person who would sit here to prosecute or persecute anybody. And I want to assure you that I didn't come here for that reason. And I think, Chair, let me submit at that.
Thank you, Professor.
Chair, thank you. Chair, I have heard the concerns of the governor. I just want, and you have talked about primary oversight. We have two forms of oversight: primary oversight and oversight. What the Supreme Court has held is that all or Senate can take place either at the same time or at level, because the County Assembly may interrogate a matter on different aspects. I do not know what they are doing on this question, but that would not stop Senate from interrogating the matter or asking questions. Number two, I think you preempt an outcome based on what you perceive to have seen or heard from most. I do not personally know about. I did not see what clips you are talking about, but I thought the issues are so specific because they relate to procurement or dealings under the Natembeya program, and we'll ask very specific questions. And I think the rules of this House, if you are unable to respond to a question, you will simply say so as we move on. So I thought you'd let concern, then you can raise them as we go on. But of course, as you have said, if you did not have enough time to respond, you would have then said that you request for another date because you are not ready to respond, because you've referred to 23 questions. You have alluded to possible 23 questions that we do not know about ourselves on our part. You make it difficult for us because we do not know whether, because once I listen to your of the schedule that you have, so allow us who are open to fairness, and I don't think that the chair has said that he would be prejudiced because it's a committee. We're all here. We will ask questions, and unless you feel completely ill-prepared, we do a report in the end, because finally, remember, a report of this committee will find its way to the. I'm sure you have your able senator here as well. I do not know what political platform both of you. I do not know, but I think we have a whole set of 68 senators who deliberate. We can all decide that would be unfair to you merely because You perhaps share a different opinion. I also note that you have referred to, even if some of these matters are under other processes, it is fair that Senate, remember agriculture is a devolved function with our work as a committee, exercising, as you've said, quasi-judicial powers. Thank you.
Let Senator Abbas give a comment, then I come.
Chair, I think earlier than what the way Governor said, and the Governor also saying that we have not given him enough time, and there's so many questions here. I don't know whether
Mr. Chairman, I raised that matter not because I'm not ready to answer the question, because these are things that I have come here today challenged me as a man, as a Bukusu man, who is now appearing before men, other men to be persecuted. I'll be finished today. So I'm here more.
Sorry, the Chair.
Can we just play that clip so that you all hear what he said? Because the clip is there, the chair is here. What is
Senator Abbas? When was the letter sent?
The letter was sent on Friday, 30th.
At what time?
At 6:38. Yeah.
Okay. Then we proceed.
County. As a senator, we are here for transparency because of oversight. All of us, we are human beings. Signed to fairness. I'm supporting the governor to be given time, because even if we are going to give him 1 month, 2 months will come ahead. So it is good supporting the governor to be end, but the governor is good to understand. All of us, we are here for oversight. We are neutral. We need the. I'm supporting.
Chair, I think I have not completed my questions. In all fairness, if the governor, what he's saying is true, I think personally, I have more time to the governor. And if the pronouncement is there, then if you agree, the other step aside.
Chairman, that's not for all of us. Senator, it is good to understand.
Senator Mondegi.
It is
Ready to step out, and then the committee discuss on what to do. Sorry about that. But not to you to step aside. The governor to step out, and then we'll discuss.
Thank you very much. In matters that were discussed outside here, then as members we need to be appraised of that, because it's also important for us also to know what transpired before. So I think, Chair, if you step out and then we as a committee deliberate on that, and then we can come up with a way forward.
Yes, Professor.
To clarify, I think the clerk said they sent the notice on Thursday.
Friday.
On Friday. To the PA, so that would mean Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So today would be the 7th day. Is whether there is adequate response, whether you feel ready to proceed. That's the other point. Because I'm sure you Governor, I know that there may have been a court order. You are in office.
Yes.
Then you're good to go.
No, we are prepared. We are prepared to go, Prof. You are a lawyer.
Yes, of course I am.
The chair cannot appear to be biased. And the chair cannot appear to be working on behalf of somebody who is not inside this committee. And I'm just begging very, very humbly
Governor,
that if we step out, let that clip be played when we are out.
I do not know whether you are a Bukusu. Who is a Bukusu man here? Are you the Bukusu man? Or
the chair is a Bukusu man. I'm equally a Bukusu man. And the Bukusus know when one man has challenged another one as a man, not as a governor.
Your view is that you're being challenged as a man?
I've come here as a man.
Oh.
Governor, not the Bukusu man.
So, but we are ready to proceed. When our colleague we can play that clip, can go out, you listen to it, make your own conclusion.
I want to agree with members that our good governor steps out with this team, and the committee of the Senate and Secretary to stay put.
Is jam-packed because our topic is very interesting and very pertinent to this country moving forward. Right next to me, Angela Mbitho. She's the CEO of Infotrack. Right next to her, Professor Peter Kagwanja, CEO, Africa Policy Institute. On the far end, Dr. Barak with the 2 R's, Muluka, all the way from Emmanuel, political commentator. Folks, thanks so much for making it today. I appreciate it. Let's go straight to Tanzania. Why not? Huh? Angela, let's start with you. Kenyan activists in Tanzania. Wrong move, right move? Your thoughts?
You know, Jeff, when I watched what was happening to both the politicians and the civil society activist Mwangi, it took me back to 2007 when I launched the Infotrack poll, both here in Kenya and in Tanzania. And the chief guest in Tanzania was late Reginald Mengi. And we had people from Harris Poll coming in from New York. And we just had a very nice launch. I think, Barak, you were there in Nairobi. And when we got to Tanzania and we started talking about, polling and what polling does in terms of, representing the views of people, etc. I remember that when Mengi stood up to speak, he said, "My sister, we will allow you to do many things and we encourage you to do many things in terms of research. But the one thing you must not do here is polling. Our country is not ready for it." What am I saying? That Tanzania, whilst a good neighbor, is very conservative. Their brand of politics is still, perhaps where we were, as Barak was mentioning before, in the 1960s, late 1960s. Or early 70s. And we are very pluralistic. We are very assertive. We have, a very, dynamic way of exercising our freedoms. And when we forget that, these things are very, easy to exercise in our country and try to then replicate them, the same things, the same actions in a neighboring country, we end up, suffering what some of our colleagues and compatriots have suffered.
Prof, when you see the likes of Dr. Willie Mutunga, Martha Karua, Boniface Mwangi, all those, they get to the airport. Well, Boniface was in a hotel for a few days, but they get to the airport and they're literally turned around and deported. Literally.
Let me put it this way. What my sister is saying is right, that Tanzania is not like us. In many ways, and that Tanzania is what we were in the late 60s, where during the one-party state. Then we became like Tanzania in the whole of the 80s and 90s. So Tanzania is stuck where we were in 1992, 2002. That's Tanzania for you. It's a situation where the old is dying and the young has refused to be born. You accept multi-party, you allow a few parties, but you are not ready to open up the society. And at the same time, there is resistance from below. So what Willie Mutunga and Mother Karua and others are simply doing is exercising what we would call regionalism. They're more complicated concepts like liberal internationalism. Basically, you are saying, if my neighbor is suffering abuse, I cannot sit back and say, it is not me, it's my neighbor. I think Tanzania finds itself in a very awkward situation because Mother Karua, William Mutunga, and Suruhu Hassan travel on the same
court case here. So it means that I was only having Wednesday. I wish to request to be allowed to raise a few issues before we proceed. One is that this is the first time I'm appearing before the Senate committee on such a very short notice.
Yes. Proceed.
Yeah. Agriculture Committee, almost word for word, the CEC has that communication. Now, I'm wondering how this matter, again, was transmitted to the Senate, and yet it's already with the countersign. Number 3, Mr. Chairman, you raised some issues over the weekend about my appearance here. They were very strongly worded statements. And you're basically saying that you're coming to persecute me here and to get me off the way. And that you are assuring the Speaker of the National Assembly and Kenyans at large to put their TVs on. I hope this was also you can put it on to hear how the Senate is going to grill me. And you actually compared, you had a biblical anecdote about Jesus and Barnabas, and you were saying that in the Bible they crucified the wrong person, but this time around you are going to crucify the right one. Basically, you've made your conclusion that I am guilty. Sorry, I'm wondering what are we going through? Is it some kind of choreographed charade, or what is it all about? Of course.
Chairperson, excuse me.
Order.
Excuse me, Chairperson.
Order.
Is in camera defending himself, or he is here to answer the questions?
Order, Vice Chairman. Maintain your cool.
The Senate Committee, Mr. Chairman.
Governor, just a little bit. Yes. My friend, Vice Chair, this is a session of the Senate. It's official. And whatever we do here is like the official sitting headed by the Speaker of the Senate. And therefore the Governor has all the right to put forward his reservations, and we shall deal with it and proceed with the matter. Thank you, Governor. Proceed.
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'm saying this because the Senate Committee has quasi-judicial powers. It's like if I decide to come here, can actually see someone that can be arrested and be brought here. That's how serious the Senate Committee is. It's not just a talk show. And when you come here, you can discuss very serious issues. So if the chair of a committee has made such remarks in public, what chance do I stand for fairness? Will it be a fair hearing? If a magistrate or a judge were to make such remarks in public about an accused person going to appear before them, I think the logical thing to do, if the judge made those remarks in the heat of the moment, I think just reasonable for the judge to recuse himself. For what I'm trying to say is that I'm actually requesting the chair, because of those strong views that he holds about me, that he recuses himself from these proceedings. Because justice must not only be done, but also be seen to be done. I'm already judged. He go to his platform on social media. He's on fire. People have already concluded that we messed up the procurement process of this mess. So really, are we just going through some kind of sham process? Yeah, I'm ready to proceed, but not under these circumstances. where a pronouncement has already been made on my guilt or otherwise.
Thank you.
And then, of course, lastly, I don't know if it's relevant, we received a set of issues that we are supposed to respond to. But then it will be a rumor that, again, the chair and a couple of other people sat and generated a list of another 23 questions that are going to be raised here. I have the list here. And I want to sincerely say that if those questions are raised here, I'll politely ask to be excused. Because the Senate cannot be a platform where people out there transmit their views through honorable members. So these questions are here. We were given about 23 of them. So if any of them is raised, honorable chair, I'll politely ask to be excused. Because then it's true that I've come here to be persecuted like Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
And if you can allow me, I can play that clip because it appears some members are not aware. I can play it. The exact words that you said.
You have put your case. The members have ears and a voice to judge. Honorable members,
let me go first, Chair. I'll actually tell the governor, I'm actually surprised because I didn't hear of the creed. But when I sit here as a competent senator and too as a member of this committee, committed to ensure that the business that we transact here, this being a house of record, is done fairly. And I can assure you that I wasn't aware that there was any prior preempting of the situation. But having said that, you also indicated that the notice that you were given was very short. You have a right to lie to the committee and request for more time. That's a privilege that you have, that's a right that you have. And I'm trying to look at the documents I have here. I don't seem to have anything that says or indicates that you felt the time was short. You still have that right even now to request that you be given more time. That one is a privilege that you have, and you can still use it. And I want to assure you, Governor, that we do not sit here to prosecute anybody. We don't do that. I personally, I come from Rima where men are truthful, and at times very truthful. And I can tell you that I come here because I want to follow up the matter, because I have relatives who live in your county, and they would want to see us follow the matter up, but not prosecute anybody. And I think it's a high time that we Kenyans learn to leave politics out of every business that we do. Some of these things we do them because we want to make each other better, we want to make systems better, we want to make service delivery better for the Kenyans, and we want to ensure that Kenyans get value for money. A way that Kenyans have learned of learning away from some of the things is bringing politics into it. But Governor, I'm not sitting here for that reason. I don't want to believe that sitting next to me here is a professor in law, and I do think and believe that his commitment to ensure that we serve justice in this country, he should be the last person who would sit here to prosecute or persecute anybody. And I want to assure you that I didn't come here for that reason. And I think Chair, let me submit that.
Thank you, Professor.
Chair, thank you. Chair, I have heard the concerns of the government. I just want to address one issue, a legal issue on oversight. And you have talked about primary oversight. We have two forms of oversight, primary oversight and secondary oversight. And in terms of the decision of the Supreme Court on the question of oversight, what the Supreme Court has held is that all forms of oversight, both forms, either by the County Assembly or Senate, can take place either at the same time or at level, because the County Assembly may interrogate a matter on different aspects. I do not know what they are doing on this question, but that would not stop Senate from interrogating the matter of asking questions. Number two, I think you preempted an outcome based on what you perceive to have seen or heard from public rallies that I don't think members know anything about, or most I do not personally know about. I did not see what clips you are talking about. But I thought the issues are so specific because they relate to procurement or dealings under the Mbegu program, and we'll ask very specific questions. And I think the rules of this house are that if you are unable to respond to a question, you will simply say so and to move on. So I thought you let the process go on, and then if there are issues of concern, then you can raise them as you go on. But of course, I'm also alive to the fact that, as you have said, if you did not have enough time to respond, you would have then said that you request for another date because you are not ready to respond, because you referred to 23 questions. You have alluded to possible 23 questions that we do not know about ourselves on our part. You make it difficult for us because we do not know whether, because once I listen to your submission, I'll ask a question on various questions, on various aspects. And I do not know whether those fall within question number 5 or 6 or 7 of the schedule that you have. So allow us who are open to fairness, and I don't think that the chair said that he would be prejudiced because it's a committee. We're all here. We will ask questions. And unless you feel completely ill-prepared, I think the best way is to interrogate the issues, proceed with them, and then we do a report in the end. Because finally, remember, a report of this committee will find its way to the House under the standing orders, and all members will have to deliberate. I'm sure you have your able senator here as well. I do not know what political platform both of you stand on. Maybe you're both in the same platform, I do not know. But I think we have a whole set of 68 senators who deliberate on all these issues, and it cannot be said that we can all decide that would be unfair to you merely because you perhaps share a different opinion. I also note that you have referred to, even if some of these matters are under other processes, it is fair that Senate, remember that it's a devolved function under Schedule 4 of the Constitution, and we deal with this program, we deal with these questions, and then we come up with a fair report. And I think having this challenge the report are there, but it is important that we continue with our work as a committee, exercising, as you said, the quasi judicial powers. Thank you.
Let Senator Abbas give a comment, then I come.
Chair, I think if truly the matter was discussed after this meeting, or earlier than what the way Governor said, and the Governor is also saying that we are not giving enough time, and there's so many questions here. I don't know whether the Governor can be able to prove to this committee that this meeting was preempted, the public process. You have proof?
Mr. Chairman, I raised that matter because, not because I'm not ready to answer the question, because these are things that we did. I can even answer you, ask you today and answer tomorrow because I've got all the information. All I'm saying is that the process must be fair. I have come here today, not as a governor, but as a man. Because what the chair said challenged me as a man, as a Bukusu man. Who is now appearing before men, other men to be persecuted. Had I chickened out on account I didn't have enough time, I'll be finished today. So I'm here more.
Sorry, the chair.
Can we just play that clip? Probably you only hear what he said, because the clip is there, the chair is here. What is the harm of playing the clip? We have it.
You have the clip?
We have the clip. He has about 2 minutes clip. It's not a long one.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Governor, and Senator Abbas. When was the letter sent?
The letter was sent on Friday, actually.
At what time?
We sent it to the PA at 6:38. Yeah.
Okay. Then we proceed. Mondigi, and then we go back to what Governor is talking about.
Chairperson, my name is Senator Alexander Mondigi, Senator of Embu County. As a senator, we are here for transparency. Perfect. I'm supporting.
Chair, I think I'm not convinced by Okay. Questions. Chair, with all due respect and with all fairness,
Yes.
if the governor, what he's saying is true, I think personally I would say that we need to give more time to the governor. And if the pronouncement is there, then I think you as a chair, maybe you will not be fair to this governor. Let's be honest. So, if we agree, we all step aside for this meeting.
Chairman, that's not for all of us. Senator, it is good.
Senator Mandegi.
It is good for us.
Order, Senator Mandegi.
So I think, sorry for that, I don't want to pronounce myself. We give the chairman, the governor time to step out. Sorry, I think I made a mistake to step out and then the committee discuss on what to do. So
Thank you.
I'm not saying
let me also add my
record. Sorry,
Thank you.
I want the other record that not you to step aside. The governor to step out.
Yes, Professor. Chair, if I may clarify you, I think the clerk said they sent the notice on Thursday. Friday.
6:38 p.m.
On Friday.
with the PA.
To the PA, so that would mean Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So today would be the 7th day.
Yes, including the weekend also.
Yes. That would be the 7th day. But the question is whether there is adequate response,
But the response is
whether you feel ready to proceed. That's the other point. Because I'm sure your governor, I know that there may have been a court order barring you from visiting the county.
No.
Or you are in office.
Yes.
Then you're good to go.
No, we are prepared. We are prepared to go probe. You are a lawyer. We are prepared to go probe. You are a lawyer.
Yes, of course I am.
The chair cannot appear to be biased, and the chair cannot appear to be working on behalf of somebody who is not inside this committee. And I'm just begging, very humbly,
Governor.
that if we step out, let that clip be played when we are out. Make your own judgment.
But Governor, you.
And Bukusus know when the one Bukusu man has challenged another one as a man, not as a governor.
So your view is that you're being challenged as a man?
I've come here as a man.
Oh.
We invited the governor. So, but we are ready to proceed. When our colleague we can play that clip, can go out. You listen to it, make your own conclusion.
I want to agree with members that good governor steps out with this team, and the committee of the Senate and Secretary to stay put. And the media, we can allow you to have fresh air, then you'll come back.
700 at a cost of 690. This was based on the market survey. You have to go to the market with the price. As per Appendix 3 on page 23, requisition form. However, the Ministry of Agriculture circular reference number MOA/LCD/9/16/7, which revised the Kenya Seed Company pricing to Kenya shillings 420 per 2 kg packet, as documented in Appendix 4 on page 28, enabled the department to procure 256,029 packets out of estimated target population of 400,000 poor small-scale farmers, as per Akipra 2024. Number 5, criteria for identification and vetting of the beneficiaries, including the total number of packets of maize seed allocated to each beneficiary. Eligibility criteria. These must be small-scale farmers, small-scale land owners of 0.2 acres or less who are poor. Another category of widows, the youth, the elderly, persons living with disabilities, women or resource poor individuals. The selection of beneficiaries was conducted through a thorough vetting process by a designated ward selection committees.
The County Executive Committee member is the appointing authority of the vetting committees as per the Trans Nzoia County Crop Agriculture Act 2021, Clause 9, which is Appendix 5 on page 30. The vetting criteria adopted the guidelines developed from Clause 10 of the Crops Act, that's Appendix 6 on page 34. Each beneficiary was allocated 1 packet of 2 kilograms certified hybrid seedlings. Number 6, the mode of communication with the public and how the distribution was undertaken in the county. The public was informed through multiple channels, the usual one that we use, including the ward planning committees, which comprise of ward administrator, ward agricultural officer, area chief, a representative of the area members of the assembly, representatives of youths, representative of persons with disabilities, and representative of women. Distribution of notification letters to ward administrators, chiefs and village elders, use of public address systems, social media platforms, and public posters. How were the distributions undertaken in the county? Venues were identified per ward as per the third schedule, Appendix 7 on page 39. The distribution was done publicly at the identified venues, and for the chairman, I want to confirm that I attended all the distribution activities in all the 25 wards. Some had 2 venues, others had 1, but I was personally present in all of them. So that's our report. The rest are supporting documents.
Is that all? Do you want to cede way to your CCM Agriculture to say anything or to add anything?
Unless you have something to add, that was the report from the counter. Maybe if there are any issues to be raised, then we'll respond.
So you're prepared for questions. Members, what just for some direction, Governor, if we ask you questions and should you want to consult or ask your CCM to respond, you'll ask for leave so that they can then respond to the question. Now, just some housekeeping issues. I want you to refer you to page 10, page 13, page 16, and 18. Go to page 10. Members, go to page 10. I don't know whether all of you are able to read, whether your page 10s are legible. Maybe you can. Page 10, you can go to page 10 that has a list of the score sheet. What is the date of page 10? Governor, just page 10. We cannot clearly see. Is there a date for at page 10?
It's 10. 3rd of February. 3rd of February, 2025.
Well, where is the 3rd of February? That's or 3rd of, up on the part of the date.
Just before farms, that is at this point. It's the date.
They're different. Some are not ready. What about page 13? We'll go to page 13 again, the one that is also not very clear. 13 was not, some of them are not numbered. I don't know whether you have page 13. And page 16 as well. 16 again is not very clear. I think it's the same document.
Yeah. We agree.
And page 17 and 18 as well.
Yeah, documents that were written by hand, 24, so many of them.
They become unclear. The team should make better for this next time. Now, so Governor, you have presented, you have indicated the supply chain and how the procurement process was undertaken. I would ask members to dive right to questions. I will start with Mr. Abbas.
Thank you, Chair. For one, I think I will ask, through your Chair, about whether the Governor can be able to present something feasible, that's eligible to be seen, that can be seen. These are very important comments. So you can have original copies or whatever, however you do it. I'll request for copies. So, okay, my question is, Honorable Speaker, Governor, you know, in line with Section 104(1) of County Government Act 265, can you confirm that the Procurement Series was part of the approval plans or part of the budget? You have approval?
I can confirm, Chair, that we had a budget for the seat. It was captured even in our procurement plan.
You have a copy of that plan?
You have it?
Governor, have you shared that document with your response?
No. It was not part of the queries.
So are you able to avail the document?
Yes, we have. We have the document.
Senator is referring to.
Actually, I'm told it's attached. Which page? Page 40. On page 40.
On the same point?
Yes. Page 40. Approved development budget estimates for financial year 2024-2025.
The problem is that your responses are not numbered. There's no numbering. There's no numbering of the documents that I have. What I have does not have, is not paginated.
Time, Chair, the time. We can't have a perfect document because of the shortness of time.
Page 40.
Development budget.
Yes. Under 311301, purchase of certified crop seed. It's 100,503,121.
So was this thing approved by the Assembly?
Definitely. It was.
Do you have the approvals by the Assembly? Do you have evidence of approval by the Assembly? Now that you I think is a question you need to complete.
Yes, you know, once the Assembly approves the budget, it's going to be for assent. So really, if a copy is required, I can get it from my office.
Yes, it's important because that's an important question.
Because the budget, the approved budget is there, we can provide it.
Yes, I think that's important for your department to ensure that
it's provided.
Available for purposes of responding to that question comprehensively. Okay. Senator Abbas, any other question? No. Senator Bungoma.
Now, you have clearly indicated that it was budgeted for.
Yes.
I want to find out from your office if there is a clear inventory after the supply of these seats, if there is an inventory of who received them, how they were kept, and by the time of distribution, if there is any documentation to that effect. So that you can be able to know that they truly supplied what has been given to us today.
Honorable Senator, the inventory is there of what was procured and received and how it was distributed.
You have copies of the delivery, whoever delivered, who received, and who was issuing the seats as they were going to the field. The documentation part of it.
We have the documentation.
Please.
Which page is it? Yes, that is for receiving.
And again, there is no pagination. I need to know, can you share that up to your page, because we don't have...
This one is a bulk document. It's not contained in the report. The file is here.
So does that file have a list of beneficiaries and a list of deliveries, word by word?
Chair, what we have is a list of S13s. These are documents that you issue when you receive supplies. That I've received this quantity of supplies you receive with that. And then now you issue with an S11. We have them here. Now the person who receives with that S11 is the one who generates the distribution list, and it is there. All that chain is there. We can provide it.
So Governor, you're saying that you have a list of all the beneficiaries who received the receipts per ward?
Yes.
Do you have it here? Can you table the entire set of documents? Can you table that?
We have it. They can go and get it.
Can they? Because we need it tabled. Because that is.
Honorable Chair, before he leaves, you know, we were talking about whoever received the seats from the company or the tender, and whoever was issuing the seats from the warehouse, because they were specific based on your research. If it was going to Kaplamai, there is a form that was filled by the person in charge going to the specific ward, so that we escalate from the person in charge to the ward. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. So if they have it, we'll be glad to have them.
That information is there.
So how long do you need to bring that information? It's important to tell. So I assume that then you have the list that will indicate the dates when seats were taken, for instance, to Machewa, Virunda, Kashudi, Sabata, Mbai, Mbao, with the numbers, with the specific numbers. Namwichula, Halwenge, all those places.
We have all of them.
A distribution chain.
It's here, we have. Of course, there are 25. There are 25 files.
Yes.
Because I've got 25 wards. And some wards have got more like 2-3 files because there are 2-3 venues.
So do you need time? Do you want to table them now, or do you need how much time do you need to bring those documents?
They're just in the vehicle. They can be brought.
Yes, I think rather than be brought then.
You know, the problem is we are not told the required documents. You look at the questions, Chair. So that's fairly straightforward. This information, this information, this information. But now these particular details, you know, if we're told now come with this and this and this, we'll not be having this, we'll be having all this information.
So let him avail those documents as we proceed. Senator, any other question?
Maybe, Chair.
Yes, Senator Abbas.
See, was there a public consultation when they distributing the seats? What criteria do you use? Are you giving it to everybody, or you give it to specific farmers?
As I said,
Are you doing groups?
No. We use the poverty index to identify the number of eligible people for this seat in Tanzania. One of our guiding principles was that we'll give farmers who have a maximum of 0.2 acres. We call them Poidimbili. The 2 kgs of maize seed would comfortably be planted on 0.2. So prior to the distribution of these seeds, we had identified the would-be beneficiaries, and the numbers were huge. Because some places we get around 10,000 people, 15,000 people. When we issue this seed, and outside they will think it's a very chaotic assignment, but they don't know that a lot of planning has gone into it. We know our people, we know who is eligible, and we know who is not eligible. So it was not just like we call a random distribution seed. That's why we've got a list of beneficiaries.
Governor, just on that question, I think it's good to clarify. Where did you get the poverty index for Trans Nzoia? Because there's none.
Kipra.
Because there's none. Where do you get disaggregated to the wards? How do you determine poor people in Trans Nzoia? And does it mean that if you own half an acre or 0.2 acres, as you say, then you are poor? Because there are people who own half an acre and are richer than those who own 10 acres.
Mr. Chairman, those of us who grew in the village, you don't need that to know a poor person. But there are people who think that poverty is an academic exercise. So you engage in those kind of arguments. But a person who is poor, you go to the village, just this person is poor. And that's what I'm talking about. A person having 0.2 acres of land, and he has got 10 children, he has got a wife, he's about to share that same piece of land with the children who are married. You know, poverty out there doesn't need indicators, academic indicators. They just live, it's known. I feel like it translates talking about 38% poverty index. But you look at other authorities, again they talk of 60%. So basically, like every little small-scale farmer in Trans Nzoia is poor. If it were for me, I wouldn't even do targeting. And if I had money, I'd just buy seed and distribute to everyone.
Governor, I'm asking this because I personally distribute seed. I buy and distribute.
I'm sure you struggle with means testing, even the way she struggle with means testing.
Except the money from my pocket. But let me answer the question.
Yes.
What was the threshold of poverty that your team used in seed distribution? Or did you involve, I think it's talking about public, but did you involve the ward administrators and other levels of administration to identify people who are poor?
There is a criteria that is contained, is on page 4. I read it. The criteria is there, eligibility criteria.
Through the chair, I'm looking at the criteria and the good minister is here. It says, your report, selection of beneficiaries was conducted through a thorough vetting process by designated ward selection committees. If I stop at that and ask through the governor, do you have minutes of the planning as a minister, the planning for the distribution of those seats at the county level, the minutes of that thing? And then escalate that to the minutes of formalizing or formulating these committees which you are in charge to formulate. And where were they done? And at what time? And then we proceed from that. When did you officially appoint these people? And that now comes to the question. Where, Governor, when you are talking us through that, it was announced in various platforms. I'd like to see if you have copies of notification to the chiefs that you have indicated, to the ward administrators as you've indicated, to the representatives of the county assembly like my good friend who is here. If we can get those notices of notification that this is the process that's going to be done. We have those minutes and that through the governor.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, proceed, the governor, proceed.
Mr. Chair, we appear to be addressing issues that we do not know. What is the issue? Are we saying that we don't distribute seed? Are we saying that we gave to the wrong people? Are we saying that we didn't buy seed? Because we need to know what the issue is. What is the issue that we are responding to? When we look at our ingredients, those are just general statements. When we go into the specifics, was there a complaint? What is the issue? So that we really know the background, so that we respond. Because what the member is talking about, it gives the employers a set way of distributing maize seed in Kenya. So you must have this committee, you must have this one. What authority is it quoting? So
We need to know what the issue is, what are the issues.
Through the chair, let me just go through this. Page 4 of the submissions of eligibility criteria. Small scale landowners who are poor, widows, youth, persons with disability, and all that. Selection of beneficiaries was conducted through vetting process by designated ward selection committees.
Yes.
So the question I asked for the first time is, where are the minutes of these ward selection committees as they were doing the vetting exercise? That is my point number 1.
Let us note that one.
Proceed.
Wait a minute.